Vaani Kapoor, it's a pleasure to talk to you here on the BBC Asian Network. How are you?
Thank you for having me here. I'm doing great. I've just been back from Scotland and uh, pretty much finished my quarantine, once I landed and all. And now I'm getting all like set to get into another film mode, another character and start. So yeah, I've been pretty busy and it's very unlikely for someone to say that during COVID times.
Absolutely.
But
You know,
here
you,
I am.
there's so much to talk about when it comes to Bell Bottom because you were among the first Hindi film actors to be part of a film shoot, to be on a film set during lockdown, during a pandemic. Just describe to me how that all happened.
For me, shooting, of course, there's so many things that you're not planned. I was super nervous, in times of pandemic, you're traveling, you don't know how the situation is, taking a flight, a commercial flight, all the way for so many hours, hearing all these incidents that, people are catching the virus, being confined in a plane and all. And once you land, you have to constantly keep getting yourself tested so you don't, or anybody from your team doesn't get it. So I was genuinely very, very nervous and I didn't know how they would pull it off. But, I have to give it to the producers. I have to give it to the whole team for being extra vigilant and being so well prepared just to ensure nobody on the set gets it. And yeah, I think it just feels now like a miracle. I look back and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how they pulled it off, but they pulled it off and everybody came safe and we shot like an entire movie there. So yeah, it's almost, I think it's going to take time for it to sink in that we are done with the film. Like we practically shot an entire movie in pandemic and ours is the first, so it makes me feel incredibly great.
At the start of lockdown, how did the conversations first begin with you about how this film would be shot and what were the concerns that you had?
I think of course, that safety, and taking precautions and being extra careful are the first thing on your mind before anything else. And I did submit to the producers. I did put my faith. You have to take that leap of faith in producers and director and the whole cast and crew and everybody. And you just have to take that chance. And we did, because they also guaranteed. They also kind of comforted us enough before we took off that it's going to be. And it's also Scotland and Glasgow, where the cases weren't as in comparison to the state that I was in or the country that I'm in. It was a lot more less there, the number of people who were infected. And I believe yeah, it just happened. I think I just said yes to it. I mean, you have to somewhere take chances. You have to step out and do it. And of course, at the end of the day, it's work. You have to get on with your life. I had been quarantined for so many months, and you just got to be careful and take precautions and be as in your own ways, be as cautious as you can, and then eventually get on with work. So that's what I did.
But what about when you were actually in scenes? You are working alongside big stars like Akshay Kumar. There's also an ensemble cast including Lara Dutta, Huma Qureshi. How do you actors interact with each other in the scenes when you're still trying to maintain social distancing?
I mean, of course, you can't maintain social distancing when you're in acting scenes. I cannot be 6 feet apart while we're trying to romance each other and keep that 6 feet distance. But we used to get our antigen test done, the quick rapid test, every 4 to 5 days. So if there are any symptoms that were made to occur, or anybody having the slightest of any infection or anything that would like surface with the antigen test, one would get one could raise a red flag that somebody's sick and you could halt the shoot. But so every 4 to 5 days, everybody from the cast, crew, everybody was getting tested. That was one way of ensuring the comfort level of being proximate, during the scenes and all, and during the shooting. And luckily, most of my scenes were with Akshay sir. So yeah, I was mostly exposed to that one actor in terms of an acting scenes. And also for me, we didn't have like big, huge, like a lot of people, background dancers and 100 people and 200 people set up,
Yeah.
for my scenes. So luckily I wasn't exposed to too many actors when I was shooting for the scenes.
You know,
It worked.
more holistically as well, Vaani, working on a film like Bell Bottom is huge for your career as an actor. You know, Akshay Kumar is a massive superstar. This is a big budget film. It's probably going to be one of the first films to
Yes.
release once we pass through this period of limited entertainment as well. Tell me what
Yeah.
Bell Bottom means for you as an actor.
Well, for me, he is a superstar in every right possible, and he's such an enthralling actor. I mean, I'm only grateful to be sharing the screen space like and he's somebody who's known to be working with a lot of new girls, with a lot of new faces, and um, he in himself, he's so fascinating as an actor who can pull off action to comedy to and be best in everything, be it romance, be it thriller, be it any genre, and he just aces it. He's genuinely so talented and experienced and way senior, who one can only observe and learn from. So for me, I believe it's the sheer joy of sharing the screen space with him and having to work at least once in my life with him. And the experience has been so lovely. I mean, he couldn't be more kinder and wonderful than he was. And he's somebody who I feel like is the most friendliest on set. And, somebody like me, I could get socially awkward, and I'm somebody who would just, from work, my scenes or whatever on set, I could go back to my hotel room and not interact too much, because I guess I like to be in my own space, and I could get socially awkward. So he's somebody who ensured that, we all sit together, have lunches together, dinners together, get to know each other, be very involved and be like a family, like a very close-knit family. So I feel like it just, for me also, on set and off set, there are so many other experiences, and I genuinely enjoyed it. For somebody like me who usually stays in her own space, I enjoyed stepping out with the whole, the team and the cast and everybody, and we were just like, we were staying in the same hotel. So for me also, it was nice. It was such a refreshing change, just getting to know this person and just accepting, how comfortable it can be with, being amongst so many people, and for him to be such a big actor and yet be so kind and humble and be so normal. So that was amazing.
You know, you are now 2 months ahead of the rest of the Hindi film industry. Everybody else is just now starting to get back onto a film set, is just now learning to work on a film set whilst observing social distancing measures and observing all the rules that need to be followed. But you're a pro at this now. So what are you going on to? Well, you've done
I just
it
got
already.
lucky. I just got lucky with, starting with being part of the first project that started and finished and got fully completed. I think I just got lucky. Nothing that I could have possibly planned that had, nothing worked according to my plan. I just happened to be part of the plan that worked successfully, and I'm only grateful for that.
What is the film set that you're going on to now? What is it you're about to get into now?
So something very interesting I am so excited about. It's Akshay Kumar, who's the filmmaker who's made beautiful movies like Kai Poche and Fitur and Rock On. And I'm a huge fan of his work. I feel he's such a credible, intelligent filmmaker, who has a mind of his own, vision of his own. He's somebody who I've been really looking forward to working with. And and then I have an Ayushmann Khurrana as my co-actor, who's again he himself is so fascinating as an actor. I believe every film of his works, and he's just so supremely talented. He's a genuinely good person and with great talent. And for me, I should just be counting my blessings that I'm getting to work with great co-actors back to back, and I have nothing to complain. So I'm really looking forward to it, because it's a gem of a film. Like, it's a beautiful story. It's a love story, and it's beautiful, and there's so much to do in it. And we just had a table read yesterday, and I think it completely it was such a pleasant surprise for me also, because even though I'd read the film, like the script, once I did the whole table read, it just had a very different, huge impact on me. So I just can't wait to like do this film. I'm just too excited.
So what I've just realized in that moment is that prior to this year, you gave us 3 film releases in the span of 6 years. And now all of a sudden in the span of 12 months, in the span of 12 months, you're working on 3 films. There's Shamshera, there's Bell Bottom, and now there's this film with Ayushmann as well. Does it feel like all roads have opened? Does it feel like all that anticipation that you had for doing great work is finally coming to fruition?
I mean, I can't deny that that this has been so great for me this year. Where, I mean, I shouldn't be saying it because it just almost, I can't believe I'm actually saying that. But yeah, like the fact that work-wise, it's worked for me, and I'm getting opportunities like these, and I guess life and God, they just work in mysterious ways, you know, and this is one of the mysteries that I can never, like, I don't know how, but I've been the busiest most now. And I'm not thinking too much. I'm not putting too much thought into it. I'm just taking whatever good I'm getting, and I'm just taking on, and I'm just focusing on that and trying to give my best to that and be as honest as I can to be it. But yeah, I mean, see, even when I was doing less films, it's not like I was sitting home and there were times when I was wallowing about why is it not working or why am I not signing more film. It was a very conscious choice I made. As much as one could like be like, oh yeah, but there were really, you know, few projects that you were part of in the span of 6 years. That was a conscious decision that I made because I wasn't getting the kind of films I wanted to be part of. And now, luckily, I guess doors are slowly opening. I don't know. I mean, for me, like this Abhishek Kapoor's film also is such a huge opportunity. And I just want to do my honest work in it and, you know, just do it for the pure joy that I'm getting to do what I want to do.
What do you think changed, Vaani? What do you think changed in other filmmakers' perception or in their mind that made them see you as the right choice for their films at this stage compared to earlier?
Well, I feel that is something for them to answer because they would know better what works for them, what doesn't work for them. Maybe they liked my previous film. Maybe they thought I was always a good actor, but because a film like Befikre didn't become huge, you know, at box office, maybe that took them a little thinking, okay, maybe she's not coming out from a successful film. But then it's also a lot to do with timing, I believe. You know, there are times when stars just align and you just happen to get, you know, it just so happens that you're at the right place, right time, with the right team, right filmmaker who's looking for the right story and a right character to fit in. And it just works, you know, and you had no answer to it. Why now and why not then? I guess it's something that one will never know. But I feel, I'm hoping at least that I'm doing something right that worked in my favor, where I've gotten these opportunities, and I'm just trying to be earnest about it. That's all.
Some people would say that the success of War, and particularly your song Ghungroo, was one of the reasons that many more people were exposed to your work. Many more people saw you in action, and probably was one of the reasons why so many filmmakers want to work with you now as well. How did Ghungroo and War change your life?
I mean, of course, it was a huge film with mega stars, like, you know, there's Hrithik Roshan, and then of course this whole buzz of Hrithik and Tiger coming together for the first time on screen, and I happened to get one of such big songs to, you know, to be part of in the movie. And I may have had a smaller part to play in the film, but I had a good how do you say, substantial part in the movie to play. So yes, I can't deny, of course, every little thing that you do is one step forward, and people get to see you more. Then they get to decide whether they like you or they don't like you. But for that, for them to have an opinion about you, they have to see you. So what did expose me to a bigger audience that maybe should they see might not have, you know, or a Befikre might not have reached out. But I mean, no, you know what? I do feel all these films that I've been part of, even Ranveer Singh is a huge actor, so even Befikre reached. But because of the polarized opinions and audiences, I believe it didn't reach as big as award did.
Yeah.
People did not come into a theater with a preconceived notion when they came to see War.
Yeah.
And that's when they, they happened to see the film, and I got really positive reviews from it. And it did make a difference. It made a huge difference indeed for people to see me in a different light.
You know, I think that one song in particular, Ghungroo, is the kind of song that any actor or actress waits their whole career for. You know, it's an anthem, it's iconic. I was listening to it again this morning. It's probably my favorite song of last year as well.
Oh,
how good does it feel for you as an actor to have a song like that is almost, it does become your identity in a large way. You know, when you go to an event, they will play Ghungroo. When you step out somewhere, you know that that's a song they're going to associate you with. How important is that for an actor, even today?
I feel songs have a huge repeat value. People do log in and watch songs a lot more often than they log in and watch an entire film. So of course, and songs are so important in Hindi cinema, where, we are all about, there's so much to do, there's so much contribution when it comes to singing and dancing and kind of a musical that we are, part of, and it just enriches your entire experience, as of a film in tonality. So I feel it's very important. Songs are very, very crucial for our cinema. People enjoy it. I, as an audience, enjoy watching it. So it makes a huge difference, and it does. I mean, if the song works and you work in it, it does create a lot of buzz around, and people do get to like sit up and take notice of something, like how you're saying, people could have possibly had a different liking towards me as an actor, where they're like, okay, she can look like this, she can dance, she can do this, there's a big song here. And then you do, have a lot of eyeballs on you when you have songs with a Hrithik Roshan in a film like War.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I benefited from it, hopefully.
You know, one thing that's a little bit unsettling for us generally is the fact that throughout this interview, we've been talking about how you've worked with Akshay Kumar, you worked with Ranveer Singh, you're working with Vaani Kapoor in Shamshera, you did this song with Hrithik Roshan, and there's so much emphasis on the male co-star that you work with. And yet I know that you have ambitions to lead a film like a Mardani or a Thappar or a Razi that you've,
oh yes,
you know, you've said you'd love to play Villanelle in Killing Eve, for example.
Oh yes, oh, you know about that.
Yeah, so I mean, does it ever get frustrating that as the Hindi film industry, there is so much emphasis on that male co-star, there is so much emphasis on who will be able to lead people into the cinemas to watch that movie?
So I have always said that I do want to do so much more. There's a lot of ambition. There are a lot of, as an actor, I have a lot of dreams about being part of cinema where I can maybe, lead a film. I'd be able to at least drive an entire film on my shoulders. For that to happen, maybe I need to create enough body of work for people to take notice of me. Because let's face it, nothing comes that easy. As much as people might think it came very easy to me that I started my journey with a production house like Yash Raj Films. Of course, it's a beautiful place to be associated with and be part of an agency like that to represent you. But for things to fall into your lap that easy, it doesn't happen. And it's just the harsher truth of life. You have to wait it out. You have to sit back, take right decisions for yourself, because I'm at the driver's seat, driving my own, charting my own course in of my career. And the reason why I haven't signed too many films is purely because I wanted to do good enough work, be seen in good, credible films, even if I'm not the person who's driving the narrative and I'm not the one who's leading the whole story on my shoulders. Be part of good films so you get noticed. And get to be part of part of films that could get recognized, where you could get noticed in it, and directors and producers like Karan Johar or Aditya Chopra or Sanjay Leela Bansali, all of them can then hopefully someday see your work and consider you for for a good part, or even such amazing for directors like Abhishek Kapoor. Today he has taken notice of me and given me such a meaty part, such a amazing part in his film. Maybe because he got to see me in a Befikre, and he told me that he loved me in Befikre. He saw me in a movie like War, which is why today he could consider me for this. So I believe it's not everything comes easy to you. You just have to be patient, and I've been patient enough. And sometimes it's about timing, and I'm just hoping that I can from now on get. But for me also, I'm also happy being part of a Hrithik Roshan film or a Akshay Kumar film, because even in War, she wasn't frivolous prop that was placed. For me, Naina held a lot more value than that. She was a lot more credible to me as a character. So I'm not restricting myself. I'm just trying to do what instinctively feels right to me. But somebody will have to get up and take that chance on me. And, like how today I feel like Abhishek Kapoor has taken that chance on me, and he's given me such an incredible part in his film. So I'm just hoping for more filmmakers to be able to do that and, put that faith in me, and then I can hopefully prove myself.
Well, I wish you the very best of luck with all of those and everything else you work on as well. Thank you so much, Vaani.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe, and click the bell icon to keep up to date. For more great audio and video from the BBC, listen on Sounds, watch on iPlayer.